Hi everyone, good evening to you all. Who's with us today? I'm just going to give this a few minutes. I'm completely live yet. The mic should be working, all right? So a lot of light coming in at me. Hold on a second, I'll just push this one further away. Oh my God, this light is giving me trouble. It keeps flickering. I think I need to change it or something. Okay, so hi Ruggero, and who else is with us today? Hi Laura. Ooh, I just shook the camera. Just went all shaking. Okay, there's some people joining. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll... Hi Tiziano, how are you doing? How's everyone today? Are you glad it's Friday? I am. Definitely happy it's Friday. And I'm looking forward to a quiet weekend without work and spending some time with my daughters, like time without having to say, Mommy is working and, you know, you're on holiday from school, but Mommy has to work. Okay, so who's with us? We haven't got many people joining yet, but you're... I'm broadcasting live at the same time as the Pope. So I have big competition. That's why I think, you know, maybe will be fewer people today. Can't compete with the Pope. Okay, let's get started with our lesson. Hi, Daniela. And oh, by the way, when you see the notification of the lesson on the page, does it say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Because I set it to 9 o'clock on my phone, on my computer, it shows 9 o'clock. But like a couple of people have told me that it shows at 8 o'clock, and they've even sent me a screenshot. But on my phone and on my computer, it shows as 9 o'clock because I set it to GMT +2, which is the time zone that we are in. So do let me know if it shows up at 8 or at 9. Anyway, it's always at 9, always. Whatever Facebook tells you, it's at 9, unless I put like a post and I say it's a different time. Okay, hi Shinsia, and hi Vincenzo, and who else? Okay, and Ruggero and Tiziano. Okay, and Antonella. So let's get started. So today we'll talk about food, as it was another suggestion. Okay, so Daniela is saying sometimes it shows at 8. I don't know why that is. Like Roberto sent me today, he sent me a screenshot on his phone, it showed at 8. And then I sent him from the link that he sent me my screenshot, and my screenshot said 9. And it's definitely set to 9 o'clock. I don't know why on some devices it shows up at 8, but it's always 9 unless I post separately and I say, guys, it's changed, it's 8 o'clock, which isn't the case. Okay, let's get started. We'll talk about food. And oh my God, this lesson needs like maybe 5 lessons. There isn't enough. So I try to kind of like concentrate on some kind of things that are important, but I definitely think we might have to come back to food at some point. So let's now look. Oh, why did it do that? Okay, add to stream. Okay, can you see my screen? Good. So now I can go into my presentation and start presenting. And every now and then I'll pop into the chat to see what your comments are. As in now, hi Angela, hi Antonio, and Giuseppe. Okay, let's get started. So let's talk about food, or like, you know, a very small subset of food. So first of all, you know, we'll talk about types of meat in English. So we like now thinking about, let's say you go out and eat in a restaurant and then you see like the menu and the description of dishes. And so let's look at some of the key terminology. Some of it will be very simple, like, you know, you may already know it. I'm sure like a lot of it you will already know. And some things hopefully will clarify today. So let's start with types of meat. You have poultry. Have you come across that before? If you have, type it in the comments. What's poultry? poultry. So I'll continue talking while you can type away if you like, and then I'll check your comments later. Poultry is basically anything that comes from birds. So it could be chicken, turkey, duck, goose, fowl, and quail. Okay, maybe others, but this is kind of like the main poultry that's consumed in the UK, that's eaten in the UK. I'll just pop quickly into the chat to see everything's displaying all right. Pudding, what's that? We'll get to that. Okay, pudding is two different things. We'll get to it. Yes, yummy. All right then. So let's get going with this one. Other types of meat, of course, we have beef, which is very straightforward. You all know beef. You know pork. Okay. Anyone who has any questions like about anything that I say, you know this one, just ask me in the comments, and then I'm sure someone else will answer, or I'll answer. Lamb, it's lamb, not lamb, lamb. Okay, and then there is game. What's game? Let's look at what game is. So I'll just pause for a second. Carne bianca is poultry, says Tiziano. We just said like carne bianca. And what's game? So if you type in game, what that is, and then, so is that, Laura, you're saying carne bianca or cacciagione? That's, oh, veal, I forgot veal. Veal should be in there as well. Veal is, obviously vitello. And yeah, steak's like a cut of beef, okay? So I didn't look at the cuts today just because this is going to be a longer lesson than I thought. So it is, yeah, cacciagione is game, okay? So it could be the most common type of game that you will find is deer, okay? So it's called deer, it's the animal, poor animal, and venison is its meat. Okay, so mostly I think like in restaurants, they may not describe it as deer, but some may do. But if they describe it as venison, venison is basically what beef is to cows, okay? It's the same concept. But game can also be, of course, birds, okay? Selvaggina, yeah? So anything like, you haunt wild animals, but also isn't like cacciagione means the same thing, yeah, as game. And lamb is not maiale. Lamb is, poor dear, yes. Lamb is agnello, okay? So maiale is pork and poor dear, yeah. So I'm going to display Daniela's comment because I also think poor dear. Although when I go to the mountains and I have some game, I don't tend to think about the deer. Terrible me. Okay, so let's crack on. Then I'll come back to the comments to see if there are any questions. But basically, pork is maiale, okay? So types of fish. So the most common fish in the UK are these: sea bream or sea bass. Sea bream, you know what that is. Type it in. Sea bass is different. Okay, it's a different type of fish. Type that in as well, what that means. You write them separately. Some people write them kind of as one word, but they're like in British English, we write them as two words. So please type in what sea bream is and what sea bass is. Then we have salmon, or its cheaper version, the trout, which I've had once in my life. I'm not very keen on trout. I do like salmon, and it's salmon, not salmon, okay? Salmon, we don't pronounce the L. Tuna, so tuna, this is the right pronunciation. We don't usually eat shark in the UK, but you may go to Thailand or some of the Asian countries and be offered shark fin soup, okay? So shark is squalo, as you know. And then like other fish that's popular is plaice and sole. Could anyone type in what plaice and what sole is? And then really popular, especially for like fish and chips, is cod. And we have haddock, cod, haddock, hake. And the strangest fish probably you will eat in the UK is kipper. Kipper is like, it's treated and it's dried and salted, and people tend to have it for breakfast as well. I don't know if you've ever had kipper before. I like kipper. I don't mind it. It's good. It's probably also quite healthy. So let's see comments here. I've tasted shark in the UK, so that's what Daniela is saying. Spigole, orate, vero? Yeah. So spigole is sea bass and orate is sea bream. And it's the same in Italian with gallo, gallina, pollo. It's like it's a comment on the previous one. Okay, so this is fish, and now we'll move on to shellfish and other seafood. So shellfish, basically any fish that has like a shell, as the name says. So prawns, you know these. Lobster, not everyone can afford these. Lobster, what's lobster? Everyone, what's prawns for the uninitiated? Squid, what's squid in Italian? Squid, so we have prawns, lobster, squid. Octopus, what's the difference between octopus and squid? Clams, you might want these in your spaghetti. Clams. Mussels, which I like less. I do like clams. And I like oysters, but oysters, they disgust me, but I still like the taste. Okay, so anyone who wants to type in what these mean, anyone who has any questions, I'll just check your comments as well. Aragosta, mussels, what's mussels, Tiziano? I don't like mussels. So usually when I order okay, here, that's it, lobster, aragosta. And gamberetti is prawns, okay? So Antonella, gamberetti is prawns. Octopus is polipo. Okay, polipo is usually, I think it's more squid. So squid is with the long head, okay? But like it's long. The octopus is round. So like calamari is made from squid, right? And octopus is like, has the round head. Okay, mussels, cozze, yeah. I don't, calamaro, squid, yes, Antonino. And hi, Antonino and Laura, mussels is cozze, okay? Does anyone like mussels? I don't like mussels. Ostriche is oysters, yeah? That's good. Thank you, Daniela. And we had clams. Anyone clams? Clams, anyone? Alive, oh, Tiziano, please clarify. Vongole, okay, clams. That's vongole, it's clams. Okay, good. And now let's carry on. So this is see some shellfish or seafood for you. Okay, then common adjectives, okay? So when your meat is minced, it's what? It's like ground. So ground beef or minced beef means the same, okay? Carne trita, minced. Then something can be chopped, especially vegetables. So you chop it into like small pieces, like an onion. You can chop an onion, but you can also mince an onion, I guess. But we chop it. Normally we chop up our vegetables. We chop our vegetables. Shredded, so you might have shredded cheese. Okay, it's like when you tear it into small pieces, but also meat can be shredded. So when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you may get like some, I don't know, some stir fry with shredded meat or something like that. Okay, so shredded is like torn into small pieces. Diced is, as the name suggests, so the dice is what you throw to play a game. Okay, that gives you like, that has 6 sides and gives you like numbers 1 to 6. Diced is basically like cut into little cubes. Sliced is as it says, so you slice something like a tomato into different slices, or you slice meat. Peeled is when you remove the skin, so fruit can be peeled, okay? Seeded is when, say for example, you have like peperoncino, okay, chili pepper, and you remove the seeds, that's seeded. So if they tell you it's seeded, then you know that the seeds, the hot seeds have been removed. And cored, if you core something like an apple, you remove the hard core from the inside, okay? So these are some of the key words that you might hear. Let's look here. Okay, so we're missing, I just realized on the screen, hold on, I'll remove the comment. Where's vongole? I need to get rid of it. Okay, so you can see the writing on the screen. Okay, so now you can see everything. And let's see the comments. Sliced affettato, good Laura. Okay. And diced a cubetti. Very good. Shredded scaglie. So you can have, for example, this would be more like maybe like flakes, like for example, some Parmesan flakes. Okay. When you do that, is that what it is? And Tiziana saying, in Dublin, fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. So nostalgic. Okay, mussels gratin, okay, or like baked mussels. And okay, we've had that already. Minced tritato, we've got that from Daniela as well. Okay, so let's see here. Diced adadi, we've had that. A cubetti, adadi is the same, Antonino. Okay, so next adjectives list, grilled. That's very easy. Okay, so fish can be grilled, vegetables can be grilled, all of that. Sauteed, I'm guessing that's French origin. Do you have any questions about sauteed? Maybe someone can answer or I will answer. Fried and deep fried. And also, like, some people often confused, what's the difference between fried and sauteed? Deep fried is clearer because that's when you have lots of oil and you basically like sink your food into the oil, okay? But some people get confused between fried and sauteed. Seared, what's seared? Have you heard that one before? Seared. When your food is seared, what happens to it? Baked, that's easy. And I hope you've had some baked potatoes, which are very nice. Baked. Roasted, you've heard that possibly in relation to meat, to poultry, that's roasted. Stewed, what's stewed? Okay, seared and stewed. Can we clarify these? And the difference between sauteed and fried and smoked. Smoked is, for example, salmon is smoked, okay? So fish can be smoked, and so it gives you like this nice barbecue type taste. Okay, let's look at the comments. Okay, so the French, okay, from French, slightly fried. Oh, where is it? Okay, sauteed, saltato in padella. So from French, salty, lightly fried, exactly. So you put very little oil and kind of, maybe fry it really kind of lightly. Like, for example, if you saute your onions, you probably don't want them to go like really brown and they just become like glassy color. Okay, stufato for seared. Marinato, no. So marinato, marinated, and seared is, let's see first if someone says. So smoked is affumicato, as Laura says. Stewed is stufato. So is that like what you call, for example, stewed in English? Like, when you have something, you cook it in a pot with sauce or maybe an umido for like a long time. That's like stewed, okay? Seared, rosolato, so it's like, seared when you really have like high heat and you fry something really quickly, kind of like under high heat. So that's seared. So especially like meat can be seared. Okay, so let's look at some more common adjectives. Raw, if you have raw food, raw fish, raw meat, you know that one, probably, definitely. Cooked, the opposite. So raw, cooked, marinated. So we just had marinated. Boiled, that's quite straightforward. Blanched, so it's another French word, blanched. So you know this one too, I'm guessing. Battered, what's battered? Battered is maybe less straightforward. Battered. And stirred. So when something is stirred, what is it? So what's battered, what's stirred, and what's tossed? Tossed. So battered, stirred, tossed. Let's look at the comments. Raw, crudo, okay. So that's from Daniela. And what's battered, what's stirred, and what's tossed? The others are more straightforward. And I hated how these capital letters always emerge at the beginning of the line try to get rid of them. Okay, so blanched is, I'm going to put this here, Antonella. So in English, like, I'll just explain it. Blanched is when you dip something in water, like you cook it by immersing it in water for like a short time. For example, an egg. Okay, so that's like when you poach it, or maybe like even vegetables, you can blanch them by immerse them into water. Battered, fried in butter is saying Daniela. So battered basically is when you add like flour and water, and you make like, you know, a batter on the outside. So for example, the fish and chips, the skin on the outside, this is a batter. Okay, so even like prawns, you can like dip them into a batter, or maybe like something in Italian would be, for example, the like the things that you eat in Rome, like, you know, the cod, the fried cod in batter, that would be batter. So it's basically the mix of flour and water that you get on the outside of things that you then deep fry. Okay, so let's see what Antonino is saying. Seared è quando al centro rimane crudo e fuori leggermente cotto. Yeah, but we talk like more about the type of cooking. So this is when you cook it you sear it to perfection, Antonino, but it's more like when you cook something under high heat and maybe to seal it or not, but it's more like, you know, the way of cooking it rather than the result, if you know what I mean. Yes, with flour is saying impanato, is saying Tiziano, and stirred like James. So someone is saying about stirred. Okay, so when you stir some things, like, you know, you mix it. So this is like when you stir it like in your pan, maybe with something, I don't know, with a spoon or something, or like you mix things together. Whereas like when you toss some things, like you do maybe this movement with your pan, or maybe like you take a spoon and you toss it like this. It has more like a lifting kind of movement to it. So someone said agitato. I'm just looking, yeah, Vincenzo non mescolato. So this is exactly the difference. So as when you stir something, you tend like more to mix it with a spoon and toss, like you tend to do this movement with your pan. Okay, so let's look at the next ones. Cured. What's cured in relation to food? Cured. And what can be cured? This is a good word. So, oh my goodness, it's now come off. Hold on. I'll just try and do something here. Just trying to link my two tabs again. They've come off. They were linked and now they're no longer linked. Okay, so anyway, while I sort my tabs out, I unite them. What is cured? Tossed like coins. Yeah, you toss a coin like this. Okay, and I'm just waiting to hear from you about cured. What's cured? And I'll just see if I can copy this. If I can get all of my tabs in one browser. Okay, so can you still see me? And I'm just sorting out a slight hiccup. Okay, okay, so Antonino is saying affumicati come il prosciutto sono cured. Yeah, so prosciutto would be dry cured. It's basically, it's not cotto a vapore. That would be like, you know, steamed, Antonella. I'll just type it for you. I forgot to put that in. That's another good word. So this is steamed is in relation to what Antonella said, cotto a vapore. Cured salumi ham is Vincenzo. That's correct. And the cured fish, very good, Tiziano. It's not condito. Antonino, condito would be seasoned, okay? Or in relation to salad, it may be dressed, okay? So cured fish, cured meat. I'll just check my, where's my browser? Okay, so I'm here. That's now working. All right, so cured, like, oh my goodness. could be fish, for example, salmon. Like, for example, if in restaurants, you know, you have like a dish, they say it's cured, then if it's salmon, for example, it may be that they've kind of like treated it with salt and sugar or maybe lemon or something. And it's usually kind of done to maybe, I don't know, like cook it slightly, but like without cooking it, without smoking it. And also maybe like to make it last longer or to give it like extra taste. So you can have cured meat, and basically I've just like put a slight definition here for you. Cured meat is kind of, you know, when you cure meat or fish, it's like when you treat it with salt, sugar, brine. You know what brine is? Can you type in brine, this word? Lemon, etc., to preserve it or to draw out moisture. Like kipper is cured, or also to add taste to it. Okay, so prosciutto is described as dry cured meat. This is not prosciutto, I know, but this was a nice picture of cured meat, so I liked it and I put it in. Okay, so now I've got everything in one browser. Thank you. You should always do that. Thank you, Laura. When you like when something like that happens, always kind of bring it to my attention. Okay. And where is brine? Brine is basically, you know, Tiziano, when you buy olives and they're like in this salty vinaigrette, like vinegary water, this is brine. Or like, for example, capri, they can be in salt or they can be in brine. So it's the water that's made of vinegar and is salty. This is what it is. Okay, so now I'm back. Can you see my comments, everyone? Hello? Let's see if you can see my comments. I think can you see me? Okay, good. So let's see, breaded. I had a question about breaded. What can be breaded? So what could you expect on the menu to be breaded if you order something that's breaded? Let me know, and we'll look at it. Okay, I'll start kind of showing you the slide, and then we'll go back to the comments. So you can have breaded chicken, breaded pork chops, breaded meat, breaded cutlets, fish. Why do I have cured meat? That cured meat's crept in here. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be taken out. So ignore this one. So this is an example of breaded meat. Even though the prawns here, I would personally describe them as prawns in butter, but they may be described as breaded prawns as well. Okay, so breaded prawns or prawns in batter. So this is a good example of batter. I'll just go back and see impanato. Exactly, that's exactly what it is. Impanato, or in, where is it? Covered in breadcrumbs, breaded covered in breadcrumbs. Okay, good. Impanato also from Cinzia and from Tiziano. Okay, good. So that was easy. Braised. So we had seared. What's braised? Braised is another way of cooking. What's braised? If you order braised pork belly at a Chinese restaurant, What's braised? Okay, I'm just going to, I don't know why it showed your comment automatically, Stefania. I didn't mean to do that. That was a good one. Okay, my son loves breaded fish and meat. Yes, I mean, you know, it's no coincidence that like nearly all restaurants that have a kids menu have, like, you know, la cotoletta, for example. It's because kids just love it. Like the less it looks like meat, the more they like it, I think. Okay, so brasato is saying Antonella, also Antonino is saying brasato. So it's a way of cooking where, you know, maybe like first you fry it a little bit and then you cook it like kind of as a stew. So for example, braised pork cooked slowly in a covered pot with some fat or liquid, but usually you first maybe like sear it at a high temperature and then you start cooking it slowly. So this is an example of something that's braised pork, I think. Okay, now some green ingredients that always, because like in the UK, you have to know that vegetables are kind of almost always the same, and seasonal vegetables are something that most people don't know. Like they eat the same vegetables all year round. So a great thing in Italy is that, like, you know, you can eat kind of every season, you can, like, you have certain vegetables that become available, and so you can enjoy them. So some of the key vegetables, it's not a full list, but maybe like some things where I thought maybe they may not be as widely known are Brussels sprouts, disgusting little things. I've got them in my fridge now because they're supposed to be good for you because of antioxidants and all of that, but I don't like them. So have you heard of Brussels sprouts? Beetroot, start typing in what they mean. Red peppers, could be yellow, could be green. And chili peppers, I put this in because of the difference between red peppers and chili peppers is sometimes like confusing. Lettuce, I realized like lots of people call lettuce salad, but lettuce is lettuce and salad has lettuce in it. Cucumber, another favorite, okay? I don't think, like, when I give cucumber to my daughter as a snack to school, her schoolmates laugh about her and they tell her it's like disgusting food. Watercress is another favorite. Dill, which is often like in, I don't know, like in baked potatoes, like, or in some sauces you get dill, and celery. So do write these and I will show you some images of them. Okay, so cavaletti di Bruxelles. That's exactly the face I'm making because tomorrow I have to eat them. Just because I should have never read that they should be, you know, that they're healthy for you. Yeah, Daniela's saying carrots and peas. They're everywhere, and especially when like peas are overcooked. Okay, I didn't put them because they're obvious, like carrots, carote, peas, piselli. Okay, so Antonino is saying cavoli di Bruxelles, barbabietola, peperoni rossi, peperoncini, lattuga, cetriolo. And Stefania is very hungry. I had dinner before Stefania. Okay. Eggplant, I didn't put eggplant, but eggplant has another name. Does anyone know? Eggplant and the other name for eggplant. So there are two names. Artichokes, I didn't put them. I think most people wouldn't know how to cook them. So what's eggplant? The other name for eggplant. Okay, so I'll show you some images of these beautiful little vegetables. So Brussels sprouts, beetroot, then cucumber, watercress, which some people might have like as a salad, dill, as I said, which is something that we usually use kind of like as a herb, and celery. Celery is like another vegetable that I have no idea why people eat. It must be healthy. It's the only explanation. I like celery only cooked in my sofrito or something like that. Okay, now we have a few minutes, so let's guess some of the English dishes. Okay, we'll do that, and I'm just going to check your comments while I do that. Melanzane is eggplant, yeah, but there's also another name, aubergine, okay? Aubergine, and who else said that? So aubergine Giuseppe. Where is it? So aubergine, so it's either aubergine or eggplant, okay. Celery is sedano, exactly, and it doesn't taste any better when you call it sedano. Still tastes the same. And by the way, carrots aren't carrots a strange thing? Because carrots taste really yummy when they're raw, but cooked carrots, I mean, I never managed to eat them. Maybe in the oven, like baked in the oven, or like grilled if I make like a roast or something, but never like, I don't know, steamed or something like that. Okay, English breakfast, that's very, very easy. Okay, I'm going to show you the first thing, Sunday roast. So if you go to any pub or any restaurant, you're likely to have a Sunday roast, especially if it's a Sunday. What's a Sunday roast? Okay, that's probably very, very easy. Sunday roast. And I'm going to have to try and share with you another screen because I want to check. Nope. So I need to check something. I need to check how I can share with you. Finestra applicazione. Okay, just a second. So I'm just going to check here. Let's see if that's what you can see now. What can you see now? Can you see? Nope, that's not good. That is just no good. So we'll remove this. Now I wanted us to look up together some of the dishes. I wanted to show you a picture of them. Okay, we can't do that. Okay, I'll stop my screen and I'll share my screen with another. I'm still learning how to use this, so please bear with me. Okay, and then, okay, so first question was a Sunday roast. Let's see some comments. Roasted meat with potatoes. It's usually meat, Tiziano, okay? So Daniela, it's usually like meat. Usually it's beef with potatoes. And then with something, that's better. And then it's with something called Yorkshire pudding. So someone asked about pudding earlier on in the video, and pudding isn't always sweet. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. What's Yorkshire pudding? And I want to try and share something with you. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this now, but so, okay. Can you see at the stream? Oh no, I can't do it. I wanted to show you. It's not going to work out. I wanted to show you my... Okay, we'll do it this way. I'll shout out the word to you, and then I'll show you the images of this thing. So now you should be able to see my screen. I should be able this is what basically a Yorkshire pudding is like, okay? I'll just show you the images, just because it makes more sense if you see it. So this is a really good image of Yorkshire pudding. It's basically like some batter that's fried or baked. I've never made Yorkshire pudding from scratch. I think it's baked, okay? But this is Yorkshire pudding. So you can see this now. Budino, yes, but it's not sweet. So this is the translation, okay? Now, the next one I'm going to ask you is bangers and mash. I can't show you my screen because then I get out of Google, and I want you to see it on Google. I'm just going to type it in, bangers and mash. This is the word. Before we search for it, what's bangers and mash? I'm going to type it in the comments as well. And I'll just put it here. Oh, cool. Cinzia is saying, I cooked Yorkshire pudding last December. Did you make it from scratch? Good for you. I think like the only time I made it at home, I bought it. But I usually just had it, like I have it in, like when I go to the pub or something. I do like it, especially when I didn't put gravy, but gravy is like, you know, the sauce that's made from meat. When it has like lots of gravy on it, I like it. So what's bangers and mash? Have you heard this one? I'll show you what bangers and mash is. And in the meantime, you can comment. Basically, if you order bangers and mash, it's basically sausages and mashed potatoes, okay? That's bangers and mash. And let's just check here. It was very good. She's saying, yeah, really nice. Okay, baked savory pastry. So this is still the Yorkshire pudding, okay? So it's It's really like, it's probably like in the Sunday roast, it's my favorite. It's my favorite part. Okay, good. So bangers and mash, we've had this one. Then my next question is shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie. What's shepherd's pie? I'll type it in. Why does it do that? Shepherd's pie. Okay. Shepherd's pie. And I'm just going to show you what shepherd's pie looks like. Where is it? Here. So you type in what you think shepherd's pie may be, and I'll show you the images. I've totally messed up. Okay, no comments on shepherd's pie puree. Okay, yeah, so shepherd's pie has like mashed potatoes as a key ingredient, but then it also has meat, and it's an Irish dish, so it has lamb, okay? Minced lamb. I'll just show you. This is basically what it looks like. It looks like lasagna, like lasagna Irish style. This is shepherd's pie. What about, while we're here, what about cottage pie? So, sorry, this is shepherd's pie. What about cottage pie? Your comments appear before you say that. Well, we've tried everything, Antonino. I don't know the right timing to delay my comments. So, like I've got this newest tool and it's working very well, and it's a paid-for tool. So this is the best we can do. Minced meat with mashed potatoes on top, Daniela. So this is the shepherd's pie. So it's actually quite nice. And cottage pie is very, very similar. It's just like whereas shepherd's pie is the Irish version, cottage pie is the English version, and it's made with beef, okay, instead of lamb. But it's basically very, very similar. Okay, next one is, and then we'll call it a day. Oh my God, so now my, okay. Toad in the hole. This is a good one. What's toad in the hole? I'm going to write this in the comments. Toad in the hole. Have you heard this one before? Toad in the hole or in a hole. Cottage pie is a savory pastry filled with meat. It's the mashed potatoes. So it's not like made from flour. It's made with potatoes, with mashed potatoes. What's toad in the hole? Tiziana is saying stavolta è la ricotta. Yeah, cheese pie is, no, it's different. Cottage pie is like shepherd's pie. It's not cottage cheese. It's like shepherd's pie, but it's English. Whereas shepherd's pie, like I said, is made from lamb and it's Irish. Okay, so toad in the hole. What's that? What's toad in the hole? And we'll just remove this comment. What is it? Toad in a hole. I'll show you an image of toad in a hole. In the hole. Ta-da! This is what it is. It's basically like pastry with sausages in the middle. Doesn't this look tasty? I've never had toad in the hole ever in my life. Okay, so you've had this one, I think. Yeah, you can see this one. This is toad in a hole. And then we'll do one more. We'll do two more. We'll do black pudding. So this is another pudding. Remember that pudding sometimes is sweet, okay? But now I'm showing you pudding dishes that aren't sweet. They're savory. And this is black pudding. It's basically made from blood, okay? It's a sausage made from blood. Okay, let's see the description of black pudding. Black pudding is a distinct regional type of blood sausage originating in the United Kingdom and Ireland. It's made from pork blood with pork fat and beef suet and cereal, usually oatmeal. Okay, is that very appetizing? I've never had black pudding either. So I'm just going to check your comments to see if you are very inspired to eat black pudding is made from blood. Exactly. That's what it is. Not very appetizing for me. Okay, so another one. What am I going to tell you now? Okay, I'll show you haggis. What's haggis? Have you heard of haggis? Is that something you might order in a restaurant? Haggis. This is haggis. It's made from lamb, and it's basically like the insides, okay? Which, you know, for someone who eats trippa may not be a problem. It depends on, you know, whether you like it or not. But it's, yeah, the inside. So haggis is a savory pudding containing sheep's blood, heart, liver, lungs, minced with onion, oatmeal, etc. And it's usually cooked, traditionally encased in the animal's stomach, okay, though it's often in an artificial casing. Well, you know, you eat the heart, liver, and lungs, and then you put it in an artificial casing. So this is haggis. Where are we? Here. Okay, so maybe last one, and then we'll call it a day. Let's see what else I had on my list. Haggis, black pudding. Oh, this is a good one to finish off with, is bubble and squeak. What's bubble and squeak? Have you had this one before? Bubble and squeak. And I'll show you. I'll write it in the comments for you. Bubble and squeak. What might you get if you order bubble and squeak in a restaurant? Oh, just typing it in the wrong place. What's bubble and squeak? Have you had that before? And then we'll stop and I'll let you go because it's getting a little bit late. Bubble and squeak is, so we're still on haggis, so I'll show you what that looks like. And you tell me what you think that it's made of. Bubble and squeak is this. So it's basically like frittata that you make with leftover vegetables, okay? So no food is wasted, which is good. You know, we like this one. So this is bubble and squeak. Comes in all shapes and, like, you know, sizes and forms, depending on what kind of leftovers you have. So if you have, you know, like broccoli and, I don't know, something like you make it, say, see here description. Bubble and squeak is a traditional British breakfast dish made from potatoes and cabbage. In modern times, it's a dish made with shallow fried Sunday, blah, 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 leftovers, vegetables from Sunday dinner. So whatever you have left, then you would, like, you know, make your bubble and squeak with that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're done. Anything sweet? I didn't have time. Like, you know, we already 20 minutes. We like nearly doubled the time. But I can ask you kind of as a last question, what's cream tea? So if you hear cream tea, what's cream tea? And then we'll finish off with that. Tiziano saying bubble and squeak. That was my question. And Tiziano said chewing gum, which is very clever because chewing gum, definitely you can create bubbles and you can squeak like on your teeth. I agree. So what's, yeah, so bubble and squeak is like frittata, sort of frittata mista, made like now, like these days, I would make mine, for example, from leftover vegetables. So also, like, I made it the other day from broccoli. I made some broccoli, and broccoli, like, if you eat broccoli, like after 2 bites, you've had enough. So then I mashed it up and I fried them and made them like into little, like little tartlets. And that's like kind of my own bubble and squeak. And it's just turned out much nicer. Okay, so what's cream tea? And then we'll call it a night rather than a day. What's cream tea, ladies and gentlemen? Have you had that before? And then tea and milk is saying Tiziano. You would think that, just like, you know, when you put cream in your coffee, for example, but it's, hold on, I've just closed my, I'll just show it to you. You may know it under a different name, okay? You definitely know it under a different name. So I'll just share my screen with you about what cream tea looks like. It's, so who else have we got? Okay, so it's not tea and milk, it's basically the afternoon tea, but maybe like more with like sweet. Okay, it was like afternoon tea. You can have some cucumber sandwiches, you can have like some other sandwiches and some sweet. And cream tea is basically like scones and cream and, you know, like jam. Doesn't that look nice? I fancy that. So this is cream tea, when you have tea and you have your scones and, like, you know, your sweets on the side of it. Okay, everyone, that's it. That's all for today. I hope this has been useful. I don't know if this is what you had in mind when you know, you requested this lesson. I hope you've liked it. I hope you've learned something new. I can't see any more comments, or maybe people are off cooking. Scones, I love these. But guys, I'm now off sugar. So I've decided to go off sugar. So I can't have anything sweet for a month. And we'll see what, you know, what happens. Buns, Tiziano, is what we eat now at Easter. For example, like the cross buns. I'll show you what buns, like cross buns, hot cross buns. It's what we eat in this kind of, like in this period, are these. So these are buns. Buns are kind of like big and like they're more fluffy, I guess. Like scones are really dense and heavy, like they weigh really a lot in your hand, whereas like buns are usually bigger and they're lighter. So these are buns. Okay, good. Roberta is saying you've learned a lot of things, so that's really good. Tea and little pastries, yeah, but especially like the scones with the cream and the jam. Good. Okay, great, Roberta. I'm really happy you did learn new things. Guys, have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good weekend. I'm off tomorrow and Sunday. I'm going to enjoy a weekend without any work that needs doing. 5 o'clock, yes, cream tea or afternoon tea. Yeah, but like I said, afternoon tea is more like, it has a wider buffet, so you might have like sandwiches with that as well. Shinzia is saying, please don't share any sweets now. Let's like unshare this and let's just share me and you guys. Lovely lesson as usual. Giuseppe, I'm sorry to hear that you're starving. I had dinner before, it was very strategic, and roasted piglets in Sardinia. As saying, Stefania, are you having this tonight? Enjoy your meal, and I'll see you next time, guys. I'll see you on Monday. I think I'm here on Monday. I did say yesterday I'll be here on Monday, but then I was reflecting today and I thought maybe like people just want a day off on Monday. Anyway, I'll post something about it tomorrow. Okay, like I'm being a bit fickle, but I'll see also how tomorrow goes. Like, you know, because I'm feeling a little bit like I never have free time these days. So anyway, I'll let you know tomorrow. We'll either see each other again on Monday for a lesson or on Tuesday, but I will let you know. Okay, bye everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great weekend. And thank you for joining. Bye. Bye-bye.